So, Bazzi Racing League returned to Austin for its Tier 3 race, round 5 in Austin, Texas. It is the, I've already said, 5th race on the calendar. And if I just take the check standings, I need this on my phone. I don't know why I don't have my phone on me. So, having a look at the standings, it seems that Ferrari are, no, sorry, Haas are leading the way now as John Dawson starts his flying lap. He'll be the first, or maybe he won't? Oh, he invalidated. Oh, he's also on intermediates. So, who's next? Who will be the next set lap? I think it will be the Aston Martin. Yeah, okay. So, looks like the Aston, unless, no. Sorry, the Williams, my bad. Williams is the first car to set a lap around Austin. Let me just get the track details. So, he's, obviously everyone goes on the softs for the first session, so no softs, no surprises. Purple sector 2 as usual. He's the first car on the track. Williams aren't doing very well if you've been paying attention to the standings. 8th, not very great for the team with the amazing history behind their back. And Sam L will be the first driver to cross the line as he's going on the final few corners. Pretty decent lap, I'd say. I mean, I haven't done any time trials yet on Texas, but across the line, 1:34. That is the benchmark time to beat the Sauber of, no, never mind, the Aston Martin of Navek. Next across the line, does he improve? I think he will cross the line. Yes, he does. He improves by a couple hundredths of a second. So McLaren, so next across the line, he will take 3rd. Next is the Alpine starting his lap. He hasn't. Red Bull is next across the line. Not Red Bull. I'm mistaking it. I don't know what I'm talking about. There's not actually a lot of cars in this session, weirdly enough. I thought there was going to be a whole full quality, but unlucky. So, the Mercedes goes quickest. Chaz really performing well for the 4th place team in the constructors. Where he is, can't see him. I can't see Chaz in the standings, so that's probably not good, I will say. The Red Bull of TK Spatty next across the line. He's on the soft, so I'm assuming you can set on the softs, but I'm assuming they're just going to short sprint quality, so I guess you could do whatever you want because there's no multiple sessions. The next to cross the line will be the I don't know. Williams, sorry, Williams in the pit lane. The Sauber will be next to cross the line. No, he won't. He's invalidated his lap. The Haas next cross line. Zach B going on the final corner across the line. Will he go fastest? I don't think he will. Oh, he will. Never mind. I take that back. Zach on provisional pole for the sprint quali session. The next to go will not be him, but it will be his teammate. No, it won't. God, everyone's invalidating. It'll be the Alpine, sorry. Vincent, no, he will not. He's invalidated as well. Why is everyone invalidating? I can't keep a straight head. John Dawson. Fuck. God damn it. Okay, Joe Hamster and SSB are next across the line. Joe Hamster takes 3rd, and SSB will take 8. Joe Hamster does have a pretty decent lead in the Drivers' Championship, but not that much. It's only about 7 points between him and Zach B in 2nd place. Speaking of Zach B, he is on provisional pole. The next driver to cross the line will not be the Mercedes, but I think TK Spitty's going into the pit. Spatty's going to the pit lane. Yes, he will. As we will follow along with the other RB of Joshua Stepfen. Quite disappointing for TK Spatty as he's been demoted from his Tier 2 team. I'm assuming for being slow, but that's my words. Don't take that into the reason why. Teammate Venus Gaming is very talented. Definitely not me. So Joshua Stephen is currently P13. Slowest lap is Snipes with a 1:38. Oh, okay. I'm having so much fun, like going through different drivers because they're all invalidated their laps. Okay, no, Vincent going across the line. What will he set on the board? It is P3. That is a very lovely, jubbly lap on the medium tyres. Zach B set a lap on the mediums and set an improved lap. Zach B doing a bit of gardening there, taking inspiration from Valtteri Bottas. Vincent is not going to set on a lap on the way forward, and everyone's now in the pit lane or on an out lap, including the McLaren of F1 Andy Moore. My phone is on pretty low charge. Damn, it's on 6%. Okay, so I'm not going to check the standings anymore. So don't make me. So, Vincent looks to be on a lap. But I am not quite sure because he's... I think he is. So let's watch along with him, who's the only car on track who is on a recording lap time. So let's see what the Alpine can do. Pretty decent lap. He's the only Alpine in this session that I can see, and he's 4 seconds back. Let's just not watch him. There is a McLaren next to. So the first to start their next to start their next lap or their final run will be the McLaren of F1 Andy Moore. We will watch him along, and we'll see how he does. I'll go silent so you guys can feel the atmosphere. As we have yellow flags. Nothing. I've been tricked. Okay, F1 Andy Moore. Can he improve on his personal best with a 1:35? I think he can. But let's just see how he does. On the soft tyres now, out of turn 1 into turn 2. Pretty decent entry into there. Now this is pretty difficult. Like a double, triple chicane. He's about. Oh, okay. Well, that's his lap time ruined. No one's out next, but I think it is the Mercedes of Stelosil. Don't put me down for the pronunciation there, as he will now start his flying lap now. Down into turn 1, late on the braking, has hit the apex now and is exiting into turn 2. The driver slowing down. Yep. That is the Haas of, I think, John Dawson, but I'm not quite sure because I'm not going to check. He's now hit he's the fastest first sector with a 25.1. Very decent for the Mercedes driver. Currently sitting in last place, but joint last because everyone from 10th to 15th hasn't set a lap yet. Very decent entry, almost went off the track on the exit to that turn. I'm not going to bother with turn that, as he is now going into sector 2. Pretty good lap so far, as what will he set sector 2? It is a purple sector 2, so he is on the soft tyre. Zach B set his lap on the medium tyre, so we can't really be like amazed by this lap. It will be a really good lap, but Zach B did set his lap on the mediums, so we'll have to see where he goes after he sets his lap on the soft tyres eventually. But the Mercedes will be the first driver to end their short qualifying run, and he goes top of the times, the fastest lap with a 6/10 gap between him and Zach B. The next driver to cross the line will be the Red Bull, but he will be starting his Chaz will be next across the line. What he set is an invalidation. He would have said within 6/10 cleared. Aston Martin, he also invalidated his lap. what is it? The Alpines on an outlap. It is the Kick Sauber. Which one is the Williams of drifting across the line? What will he set? It is P4 with 133.1, the fastest lap, and the Williams of Sam L goes third fastest for the 133 dead. That's a very impressive lap from the Williams driver, as we now ride on with the Kick Sauber, who unfortunately has a loss of a front wing, so we'll have to we'll obviously see a ticket about that. Maybe he just span and hit the wall, who knows. But the Red Bull is the next driver on a fast lap. His teammate already wait, no, sorry, for some reason EA haven't fixed the issue where the colour of Red Bull is grey like RB, and the colour of Red Bull, no, the colour of RB is dark blue like Red Bull, which is very, very confusing. So the Haas driver is next across the line, John Dawson. He's also invalidated. The Mercedes of Chaz next, no, sorry, it's his teammate. Chaz on a lap, oh, he's gone off. Oh no, no, poor Chaz. He's gone off and, yep, he's in the wall. Okay, that is the end of Chaz's short qualifying run. A very disappointing run for the Merc, as I think that is it. Yep, that is it for short qualifying. As I have to check the results. I actually can't remember what I was told. Let's just see who's on pole. It is Zach B. Oh, I didn't see that. 97 thousandths of a second, which is pretty impressive, and it's a pretty good gap as we head now into the sprint race. This is just a personal opinion. I don't think that we should be having sprint qualifying and sprint. Like I think we should have sprint races, but I think sprint races should be the qualifying session for the race, because like F1 teams need to have all the tyres available, and I know you can I know the tyres are pretty much ready after the sprint race for the main race, but I just feel like it's a bit unnecessary and they don't really need it. They just, yeah, my personal opinion. As we will now head on to the grid for the sprint race, which I hope will have a lot of action. Texas is a very close track, quite thin at some points, but wide on the other, so a lot of overtaking opportunities, especially into turn 1. My personal favourite overtaking zone, because you can just dive down the inside and then plant the car into the apex, and you just get the overtake done, and it's so simple and it's amazing and I love it. And let's see what happened to the race as we wait for the race to start. Don't know if we'll get a oh, we won't. Alright, as we got 5 red lights for the first sprint race of the season. Lights are out and it's underway now. It's Zach B. Got a pretty decent start compared to the Mercedes. They're going to go side by side up the hill. Who's going to come out in front? They're side by side. It's really close. Yellow flags down. There's the Haas of John Dawson spun around there, and there's the RB in the background who has gone off the track as the Haas of Zach B is side by side. We're drifting into the chicane section now. It's this Sam L has come out of nowhere. It's now leading the Texas Grand Prix. It is sprint race. Then it's Sam L and Zach B, and then the Mercedes. 3 different constructors in the top 3, with drifting very impressive from the Kick Sauber. And there's a battle going on. There's yellow flags. Navek is round. Navek's having such a poor time, and he's broken his front wing on the wall. And Soren Thean has been spun around. He's now at the back of the grid. TX Batty doing pretty well from where he qualified, but that is a downgrade from where he started. He's doing pretty well as the Williams is now into the lead of the Texas, Austin, whatever, Texas Grand Prix. That was a pretty good start from Sam L. He came out of nowhere, and Zach B is coming out of nowhere too, down the inside. and he gets the move. That's a very good move from Zach B. Like I said, like the same with turn 1, you can just plant the car and you get the move done. It's very, very simple and a very effective overtake. Now, as Sam L has gone off, and that's the predicted strategy, but I don't know why you would pit unless you're brain dead, stupid, dumb. But I digress, as Sam L could be going side by side with Drifting. Drifting could look for the move on the inside. No, he doesn't. Drifting has to stay at P3 for now, as Zach B leads on lap 2, followed by the Williams. And there's movement at the back now. The Ferraris are overtaking each other. Joshua Stephen is overtaking John Dawson to P12. It's a very close battle between them, but because it's a sprint race, only 8th and 1st get points. So that won't really matter unless they can make a lot of moves. Joe Hamster, the leader of the Drivers' Championship, is currently in 10th place. No points, as he's looking for a move on F1 Andy Moore. He's cut the corner there. He's going to send it down the inside. Has he got the move on the McLaren? Yes, he does. He's moved up into P10. A very impressive overtake, as there's movement at the top. DRS train is forming between them from the Mercedes to the Sauber, as the Sauber is actually back now behind, as Zach B overtakes Sam L with DRS. He is now into the lead of the sprint race, and there's yellow flags. Now the yellow flags, the McLaren has spun round and has dropped down to P13. Very disappointing start to the race for F1 Andy Moore, as he is now in P13 now. As Soren Thean, I feel very disappointed for. I mean, 14 seconds back is not an amazing start to the race, but it's only a sprint race, as two people, the two Ferraris, both get penalties, and PR Pistol is into the pit lane. He's at the wall in the pit entrance there, as is there move up ahead? No, there isn't. So how? And he's retiring. PRT Pistol is retiring from the race. That is very unexpected turn for the Ferrari, as both of the Ferraris got penalties. So Joshua Stephen could be promoted to 9th if he holds P10 and holds that hungry Haas John Dawson behind him now. As we go, we follow along now past sector 1 into the first DRS section. Zach B, 5/10 the gap between him and Sam L. So Zach B is having a comfortable lead. He started first, but he hasn't led every lap. So unfortunately, he can't get the the grand slam that he would love to deserve. But there's movement at the back to kick. Sauber is going side by side with Sam L into the next corner before sector 2, and Sam L, an amazing defense from him. He moves back up to P2, defending from the Sauber, but that has lost him time to Zach B. So Zach B has a very comfortable lead, and the Alpha thing, the kick Sauber is going back at Sam L. They're going to go side by side into the long right-hander, but Sam L has defended the position very well. But that does mean that the Haas of Zach B is now comfortably in the lead of this race. So Sam L will not get DRS, which means he's a sitting duck for Drifting, who is looking to overtake. He's hungry and he's pushing forward, and he has overtaken him before the corner even began. As he's now up into P2, Sam L could fight this back, but he's not. As the Alpine could have gone somewhere for the Red Bull, but he did not. He is staying in P4. Lovely aerial shot, shows the difficulties on track, as everyone is battling everyone apart from Soren Thean, who is battling his inner demons. Zach B now 1.2 seconds ahead of Drifting. Now Navet gets a 3-second time penalty to add to this misery of the Aston Martin, and Soren Thean is DNF'd. Soren Thean is the second driver in the sprint race to DNF, and he has retired in the pit lane, so there's going to be no safety car. No chance of a safety car to happen now, as the Sauber and the Williams are fighting, and Sam L doesn't take a hit out of Drifting's book, because they're still side by side into sector 2, into sector 3. What's going to happen now? They're side by side, and they've touched. They've collided but not damaged, and the Red Bull squeezing in now. Has he got the move? He's still side by side with the Williams into the long right-hander, and the Williams has gone through. It's a very, very brilliant defense from Samuel, but unfortunately he has lost the move to drifting, so drifting is now under pressure, and says SSB Snips has got now a 3-second time penalty. So there's a lot of warnings going out because this track is very easy to get time penalties. Speaking of the devil, the Mercedes of Stelosil has also got a 3-second time penalty. So that is adding on to the Mercedes misery right now. So John Dawson could get points here if he stays within DRS, but that could not be possible because TX Spatty is right on his arse. He is on the rear of the Haas, and he could potentially lose P9 John Dawson to TK Spatty, but time will have to tell as the Williams is hunting for that P2, wants to gain back his P2. Could he get the move on this DRS straight? And the Red Bull has overtaken the Alpine. He's caught him napping. He's sent down the inside, but it might not be enough in the end because he has got that 3-second time penalty. Sam L is looking for a move on drifting around the outside. It's a very brilliant move, and this time he has taken a page out of drifting's book, and he's overtaken him before the corner even began. Up into P2. Zachary with a very comfortable 1.4 second lead. If Sam L drifting hadn't have fought, I think it would have been a much closer battle. But you know me, I love to catch the beat, and the Alpine defending like a lion on crack against the Mercedes. Oh, they've gone off! Oh, it's an insane crash! It's an insane crash between the Alpine and Mercedes. He's not defended like a lion, he's defended like an apricot. What is going on? Who is at fault there? A ticket will definitely be open, and he's got a penalty, so he's going to be falling even further down the order. That is very, very hard to believe, as drifting is still defending against the Williams. I think the Williams overtook drifting. So Williams overtook drifting, but then drifting re-overtook him and is now defending that place like crazy. Oh, he's fumbled it. He's gone a bit twitchy on the exit, and that is inviting the Williams. Could he go around the outside? He's late on the braking. No, he's not. Could he go with the switchback? Yes, he is. Sam L is looking for the switchback on drifting. It's a drag race, but Sam L does have DRS, so he will have the edge over drifting, and drifting is a sitting duck to the Red Bull. The Red Bull of Snips could go around the outside. He's looking for it. Around the outside goes Snip. Is he still there? He can still go for the move into sector 3. He's going for it, and he's got it. Even though he's got the penalty though, he'll probably move further down, and his drifting is coming back at him now. Drifting is looking back for that place. Personally, I don't think he needs to, because he'll get the place anyways when Snips gets the time penalty. John Dawson fighting with the Alpine for P8, the last points position of the sprint race, as we head now into lap 7. Zach B in the lead, followed by Sam L, followed by the Red Bull of Snips, then drifting, and then Chaz, Joe Hamster, Stelosil, and Vincent rounding out the top 8, which will be the points for today. However, Vincent does have that penalty, which will be a factor for the Haas. Speaking of the Haas, they're going to go side by side into turn 1. The Alpine and the Haas are going to fight this now as the Alpine moves ahead. He's defending from John Dawson, who looked for an overtake but couldn't achieve it. TX Spatty just watching this now like he's watching a movie at the cinema. He's got popcorn and he's hungry. So the Red Bull now is fighting the Williams. Down on the inside goes the Red Bull. Has he got the move? They're so side by side. Who's got DRS? Let's just see who's got DRS. It's the Red Bull. The Red Bull and drifting. I'm not watching the very battle up. They're 3 wide going into the next corner. Not damage, but contacts being made between the drivers. This is an insane battle for second. Even though 2 drivers have time penalties, they're still fighting like they need to. They're fighting for their lives right now. As John Dawson's still fighting the Alpine of CX Vincent. As CX Vincent is going to go side by side with TX Spatty now. But he hasn't got the move. He's still behind the Alpine. He's still in P10. Quite a disappointing lap for TX Spatty, and a disappointing race for the two RBs. To add to Spatty's misery of being demoted, he's also in P10 as PRT Pistol leaves the race. The Sauber could go for a move on the inside. No, he does not. He's still in P3, followed by Sam L, who is just looking at the rear end and saying, I want to get past that car. As there's yellow flags, and Joshua Stephen is round. Not round, he's gone into the pit wall. He meant to pit, but failed to do so. I think he's going to retire, which is a pretty weird move, because there's only 3 laps left, but it's his choice, and he has retired. I knew it. I'm a genie. I'm a genius. Should have said. As when what? Okay, I have no idea when the Rebel moved ahead of the Sauber, but we are going to see some more action now. Drifting 5 tenths back, DRS enabled. Sam L 7 tenths back, also as DRS enabled. They're going to be fighting this now. Drifting could go down the inside. Yes, he will. Drifting goes down the inside of Snips. Is he got the move? No, he doesn't. Snips has amazing defense and is keeping that P2. Zach B, he's out of the equation now. I'm going to stop spectating him until the last lap because no one is getting past him. And Stelios is like a 3-second time penalty, and the Alpine is round. That is the second time he's spun round today, and it's with the Haas of John Dawson. It's an amazing race. A lot of action, but unfortunate for him. And TX Spatty is in points position. The RB scoring 1 point, potentially for the team. As to add to Vincent's misery, he's got another 3-second time penalty. It's not good. And the Haas has gone too deep and hit him. This is not good for the Alpine. He is having the worst day of his life right now. As he's been hit by the Haas, and he's spun round with two other with a different driver, but twice also a John Dawson, which is very, very disappointing to see as Navek has overtaken John Dawson for P9. We will now cut to the Kick Sauber of drifting now, as he is on the DRS sector. He's got DRS activated now. He is going to be looking for a move on Snips before the corner even begins. He's going to be looking, he's going on the inside, he's got the move, but the Williams of Sam L looking for a move down the inside goes Sam L. Has he got the move? They're still side by side out of the exit. They're going to be side by side in the next corner now. Sam L looking for that move side by side, and she doesn't get it. Snip defending well. Still in P3 as drifting overtakes him now in P2. And Zach B really not part of the equation right now. As the Mercedes are battling each other, he's ghosting. Chaz 4-1 ghosting. I think he might have got spun as Joe Hamster now is into P5. As there's a little bit of a battle going behind with John Dawson and the yellow flags. What's happening with yellow flags? Nothing's happening with yellow flags. Oh my god! Sam L! No! The Williams Wonder Kid is out! That is crazy. Oh, I did not expect that. That is really unfortunate for the Williams driver, as he is now out of the race. Who would have predicted this in the sprint race? I certainly wouldn't. 4 retirements in 10 laps. What the hell? Okay, need to calm down here. I'm getting too worked up. As Joe Hamster now promotes to P4, and now the battle for second place has got shorter now. Drifting still battling Snips for P3, as Snips 4 tenths back DRS range. He's going to get this move, but where is he going to go? Left or right? Does he go left? Does he go right? He's going to go right round the outside of drifting. Has he got the move? Maybe. He's still side by side with the guy, as on the inside they make a little bit of contact and Snips is up into P2, but drifting is going to get ahead because of that penalty now, as Zach B, who hasn't led every single lap, but he has set a dominant performance in the Haas. He's been sitting ahead of the P2 spot for the whole of the sprint race, and he's going to take the first sprint race win of the season. Zach B in the Haas wins the Austin sprint race. in Austin, Texas. Drifting is promoted to P2 and Snips in P3. It's a commanding performance from Zach as he wins the race. Chaz in P6. TX Spatty scoring 2 points on his debut for RB, as Navek is now going to get the last point position. No, he's not. John Dawson is going to get the last point position as we now watch F1 Andy Moore, who is having a terrible time right now in P10 with the amount of penalties that he has. Again, a commanding win for Zach B, and good luck for the main race, because that is going to be the real tricky part of the race weekend. I will shut up now. Alright, now we are into the main main Grand Prix qualifying, with Soren F1 the first driver to set a lap. I am stupid, Charles Leclerc. Oh, bit twitchy on the exit there. Is now into the first DRS detection, the second DRS detection zone, as he's about to hit sector 2. What will he set though? This is a pretty decent lap. looking for redemption for the other race, for the other sprint race, as he's now going around turn 13 and 14 into turn 15 and 16. Pretty decent lap for him. Looking for I've already said this, but I feel like I should mention it again. The disappointing sprint race was hard to watch, but he could do better now. Round the final corner, turn 20, what will he set? It's not a very quick lap, but it is the benchmark lap for those to beat. It is a 134.665 now, as the Alpine is not the next one to cross the line, but it will be the Williams of Sam L, who did take P3, I believe, in the sprint race, but I can't remember. Will he beat lap set by Soren across the line? What will he set? And he does improve. He says a 134, and now that goes even quicker on the mediums. Same compound tyre, different constructor now. It's F1 anymore. With the soft compound tyre, that is not a good lap for him, as drifting goes fastest on the soft tyres with a 132.8, a whole second quicker than Navek now. With the RB next cross line, he sets a P5 lap. Decent for him. Zach B is the next person cross line. He's on a hard compound tyre, so this will be an interesting compound of choice across the line. He does set P3 though, which is quicker than some people who are on the mediums and soft tyres now. Vincent, decent middle sector. Could he improve? He's on the soft tyres, so he probably will be better than Zach B, but he could set a slow lap. We don't know. We'll have to watch patiently and see. Now, as he is going into turn 19, pretty decent entry, doesn't go over the line, doesn't even hit the line until later on into the final corner of turn 20. What will he set? It is not the fastest, but it will be P2. It'll be a 135.5. Very good lap from him now. Next person across the line will be it will be Joshua. No, it won't. Confused here. Okay, Joshua Stephen is definitely not going to set a lap, but the next person across the line will be his teammate, TK Spatty, I think. Don't quote me, but I think he is the next driver across the line, unless it is F1 Andy Moore. No, it is not. F1 Andy Moore is coming into the pit lane to obviously change his tyres and refuel. Zach B is not the next person, so it will be the RB, because from what I can see, no one else is close to his close to him on a fast lap, so it will be TK Spatty, next driver to cross the line out of turn 16. Pretty close. It's a good thing it doesn't invalidate his lap. Looking to invalidate. So Mercedes on track. Didn't the Mercedes impede him? Don't think it did, because he doesn't look on the telemetry, so we'll be able to see. Round turn 20, the final corner. What does he set across the line? DRS enabled. He goes up to P3. Very impressive lap from the RB driver as he's up into P3. Provisional podium place. As the Red Bull is not the next one to cross the line, but it will follow along with him. As the other Mercedes, the other Mercedes, Chaz F1. Chaz F1 goes quickest. Very impressive lap for the Mercedes. I was completely disoriented and not what I was talking about. The Red Bull will be the next one across the line. Into turn 12, quite decent entry. What will he set? In sector 2, it is quickest sector 2 of Q1. The only qualifying choice of short qualifying. So hopefully this will be a pretty different performance, and he can lift the. I'm waffling at this point. Into the right hands of 17 and 18 now. Turn 19 now. Pretty decent entry. Didn't go off the track there. Very good from the RB driver. He's really pushing here. He could go through or faster across the line. What does he say across the line? He's not fastest, but it is good enough for P3. A very impressive lap as a Ferrari of Joe Hamster has left off the line. I think he did set fastest of sector 2. Now he's going on the final corner. Does he set provisional fastest? It won't be fastest, but it will be good enough for P4. That is a very decent lap from him now. As John Dawson will be next on across the line. He hasn't set a lap, so this will be an interesting lap to say the least on the medium tyre. And he has enough time to pit and change soft green flags, yellow flags across the line. What will John Dawson set? It won't be the fastest, but it will be P6, which is a very decent lap on the medium tyre now, as no one else on our lap apart from the ones who've already set their laps. So yeah, no one else is sitting a lap yet. So let's just look at the order now. So it's Taz F1, provisional fastest on the soft tyre. Then it's Drifter. Then the Red Bull of Smith, and Joe Hamster, and then Vincent of the top 5 now, as everyone is pitting, everyone is out. But F1 Andy Moore is now starting his flying lap. He's currently in provisional 13th with a 1:35. He can definitely improve. So he will be looking to set a better lap and move up maybe into the top 5. Could be a top 5 lap from the McLaren unless he invalidates. Sector 1, what does he say? It is a 10th quicker, nearly 2 tenths quicker on his first lap now, as he is heading into, let's just see. Alright. Okay. Whatever. He's going into sector 2. What we say, it's not a good sector 2. It's a 1:04, which is, it is 2 tenths quicker, but it's not that good of a lap. So he will be trying to improve from that lap. Are we invalidated? My boy. What is he, boy? Zach B now is on a lap. Kelly Austin will be the next person to cross the line. He is also looking to improve, because he hasn't set a lap at all in this qualifying session. He will probably have time to set a lap, but I wouldn't count it just yet. Turn 12 now. What will the Mercedes set in the middle sector? It is a 1:01. That is a very impressive middle sector, as the fastest middle sector of anyone in short qualifying, and it is looking pretty good for the Mercedes driver now, as he is heading into 16, 17 and 18 now. Pretty decent lap, pretty decent entry now. Just a little bit off the line. No! Oh, it could have been the perfect lap, but he's invalidated. Oh, that is just very poor from him there, as Zach B, nearly a whole second quicker on his next run, and he sets the fastest lap. 6 tenths quicker, 0.601 second quicker than Mercedes. So that is a very big milestone for the Mercedes to catch, if he can catch it at all. Drifting on a lap, but he's a 10th down on this lap. Could he have set it quicker across the line? Does he improve across the line? No. And yes, he does improve. It's up to P2. He was a 10th down in the middle sector, but he didn't let that stop him, as John Dawson will be the next driver to set a lap time. He is currently in P7. That is a solid position, but could be better. Heading into turn 11 now. Quite decent entry. He's just hit the apex perfectly there. A little bit of a twitch on the exit. Bit of oversteer, but not too much, as he is looking quite decent in the Haas now. Into turn 12. What will he set now? Is there a car ahead of him? Doesn't impede him, so it's completely fine. Into sector 3, sorry. What will he set? It's the exact same sector. Okay, so he's not really improving. He's sort of in the middle right now. Bit of a spin there. gone off track, but he hasn't invalidated, so we move on now. 16, 17, and 18 next ones, and he's invalidated. Okay. You can start watching them now. So the McLaren will be the next person to start his flying lap. So he will be on his out lap. Actually, no, Mercedes, right? Mercedes will be the next person to set a lap. So Steliossi still hasn't set a lap, but he set a very, very decent sector 2, which was a 101.8, which was 2/10 quicker than the fastest sector 2, which was, I think was a 102 dead. And Snips has retired from the session, so he's basically out. No, he can't set a lap anymore. That's him done. Steliossi now. Let's run through his lap time. Could he improve? Maybe not. Going into turn 1. Quite decent lap. Lockdown. He missed the apex though. Good early up. He hasn't invalidated a lap, which is pretty good. Into sector 1, what does he set? Isn't it improvement? We don't know because he hasn't set a sector 1. He hasn't set a proper lap yet, but it is the fastest sector 1. So apart from missing the apex in that one corner, he's still improving and is going provisional fastest. So weirdly enough, didn't show his pace in sprint qualifying, but he's showing it in the short qualifying, which is a pretty confusing set of events. But we move on now. Turn 11 into the braking zone. He doesn't hit it perfectly, and he's hit the apex. He's gone below the past the apex, but doesn't matter. What you say in the it's an improvement. It's a 10th improvement on his provisional lap before he invalidated. So this could be a very comfortable lap for the Mercedes. He could go fastest and make it a 1-4 for Mercedes. As yellow flags now. That was the driver moving out of the way of the Mercedes. Still into the final 2 corners of turn 20 now. Looking very, very decent. DRS enabled across the line. What is that? It is the fastest. By 5 thousandths of a second, he's gone fastest in the Mercedes with a 132.201. It is very, very decent. And the Mercedes not made across the line because he invalidated. Very, very unfortunate for him, but we have to move on because the Ferrari will be the next driver to set a lap. He hasn't invalidated yet, but I didn't see his first sector, so I can't tell if it's a good lap or not. We will have to see when the race. I'm gonna have to stop talking because I'm gonna lock my mouth shut in a second. Joe Hamster now, very decent leader of the Drivers' Championship. Not very good position for, if you look at where he's in the driver's standings. More yellow flags. That is for the Aston Martin giving way in Sector 2. As Joe Hamster now has hit Sector 2 and is into Sector 3. Navek has also retired. So let's move on from that. Joe Hamster now. I didn't really see the improvement on his lap, but we will see where he is going to be. Into turn 19, doesn't invalidate his lap. Turn 20, and yeah, this might be an improvement. Yeah, a 135, 2 whole seconds slower. As Vincent set not an improvement. So let's. What about Chaz? Ooh. This is pretty good now. As TX Fatty is setting an improvement across the line. Where does he go? He goes P3. That is a very good lap from TK Fatty's original P3 for him now. John Dawson is starting his lap. Sam L is going to be finishing his lap across the line. What does he set in P9? The podium Actually, no, he didn't start a podium, he retired. Oh, his miseries are growing more and more. The misery counter, the disappointment counter is overflowing with disappointment. As Soren thing will not set on a lap because he hasn't validated. Drifting will be the next driver. He set a purple sector 2, which is very good for Kick Sauber, as the academy is between them and RB is not looking very, very good. So P3 and P4 is very, very good for their chances of being moving up in the academy standings now. So turn 20, the session is now over. Into turn 20, the Sauber across the line. Please set Bruno fastest. Yes, he does. By 0.2 of a second, he sets the fastest lap so far of short qualifying now. The Ferrari of Joe Hamilton will be the next person across the line. What will he set? Is an improvement? It is an improvement, only good enough for P6, which is very, very disappointing now, as the Mercedes, no, not Mercedes, the Haas of John Dawson will be the next person across the line. What will he set? He's going around turn 20 now. It's an improvement. What will he set across the line? Is it 132? Yes, it is. He's one place behind his teammate in P4. It is very impressive from him. And that is it. Drifting has come out of nowhere with insane pace and is now got pole for the Texas Grand Prix. It's unbelievable from him. And 132 dead has secured his first pole position of the season. I think that's first pole position because I haven't commentated before. So quote me if I'm wrong in the comments of the Twitch stream or something else. But that is very impressive for him. His teammate, however, is in P12. So to balance out the weight of being perfect and setting an amazing example, Soren is going to have to close that gap. So let's just see where they go for the race. So this is looking to be a very eventful race on our hands now, as we will now go to the grid for the 5th round of the Tier 3 calendar in Texas, which is very, very good for them. That's a bit outdated, but whatever. Oh, I'm looking at my standings, but you're still ahead. So, drifting, sitting in P5 in the standings, is currently on pole position. Will that last though? At turn 1, we will see in a couple of seconds. As we'll now go to 5 red lights for round 5 in Austin, Texas. Lights out and away we go. It's a decent start for the Mercedes. Could he have the job on drifting into turn 1? Yes, he will. He'll go down on the inside. They're going to go side by side, cut the corner a bit. Drifting has been forced wide, and drifting has lost the place to the Mercedes. And there's a crash behind. And it's the Alpine of Vincent. His luck has gotten worse as the Mercedes into the lead of the race. Followed by drifting and Zagby is moving at the back between the two RBs. The X-Factory moving up into P9 now, as the Red Bull of Smith has moved down, and Samuel has even moved even further, as the McLaren and the Aston Martin are battling. Someone, I think it's Piastri Pistol, has gone, I forgot the word, but I will find it later. Wide, I think that is a Mercedes. John Dawson looking for a move on the Mercedes now, lagging a bit. John Dawson, has he got the move? He's going to go down the inside. He's looking for it. He's looking for it into turn 12. Has he got the move? No, we're still side by side in sector 3. This is very close between the two for P4. And it looks like John Dawson's going to go again down the inside. This is an extremely close race. And John Dawson is still fighting him. This is insane. Okay, Chaz has now moved up into P4. This is an insane start from John Dawson. The two Haas drivers P3 and 5 respectively, as Chaz has gone off the track again. So that could be a recurring fault in the Mercedes armour, or chink in the Mercedes armour, as Chaz is now into P4, almost a second gap between him and Zach. So that could be a very good thing for Zach, as he is now a second ahead of Chaz into lap 2. Now, the Mercedes has kept P1's an insane start to the race for Mercedes, as their P1 and 4 the best points position on the grid, as Snipes, I think he spun, but he's lost a lot of positions, and Soren Thien is going to be battling him now. Soren Thien might go down the inside. No, he won't go side by side with the Red Bull now into turn 11. He's got a bit issue on the accelerator, and the Red Bull is inviting himself back in. He's got the move. It's very impressive from him, as the RB star was looking for a move on the inside of the Mercedes, but he hasn't got the move, and the Mercedes is still in the lead of the Austin Grand Prix, the Texas Grand Prix, as Navek is moving down the order side by side with Soren Thien. They make a bit of contact. Soren Thien is very, very struggling, so he's having a very bad time struggling on the accelerator to get that car in one piece, or across the line in one piece, as 5/10 now the gap between the Mercedes and the Haas driver, as they now start lap 3. I'm going to lose my voice for a second to keep talking. Soren Thien has now a 30-second time penalty, and it's only been 3 laps. 3 laps, one warning at least every single lap. So no moves at the top just yet, as Snips is 2 tenths back. He's back. He's not going to get the move on Spatty. Spatty looking pretty comfortable. Both RBs looking comfortable. This will be good for both the academy and their team standings. I've got a notification from my family group chat. Never mind, I don't care about family. I'm just kidding. But Mercedes now 6 tenths ahead. DRS is enabled, and they've got enabled on lap 2. So hopefully the Mercedes will be able to defend against Zach and will keep first position. And there's a battle, but at the back, TX Fatty moved 2 places down. Where was that? When did that happen? Moved down 2 places behind Joe Hamster and behind Spatty now. TX Spatty, so Snip, and TX Spatty's been looking for a move now on the inside of turn 12. Has he got the move? Yes, he does. Sorry, let me just I didn't have a party. I think everyone heard me. I think I was very, very annoying. But there's movement at the top as well. Joshua Steven is losing a position to Sam L. He's looking to gain a position against Sam L. As we now look ahead with the Haas 3 tenths back now, closing the gap between him and the Mercedes, as there's more action at the back. It looks like the back markers having more fun than the podium places currently. The Haas not going for a move on the inside. So is the other Haas not going for a move on the Sauber, as there's more movement at the back. DRS train is forming behind the podium contender for the sprint qualifying session. He is now down to P6, which is not the best result that he could get potentially if he ends the race where he is right now. Soren Thien adding to the depression he's currently in right now with another 3-second time penalty. He's looking at the rear end of Navek now with Joshua Steven as a time penalty and John Dawson as a time penalty. And that is not good for the Haas if he wants to keep this amazing form he's got going. And Zach B is going to be looking for a move on the Mercedes of Stelosil. He's going to be going on the inside. He's got the move before the corner. but Stella is still side by side. They're going to still fight this, and just about gets ahead. Zach B into P1, ahead of the Mercedes of the Austin Grand Prix, Texas Grand Prix. I keep calling it the Austin Grand Prix. A nice everything as the Mercedes is being pressurised by the Sauber, but the Sauber couldn't get the move done, and the Sauber has moved further back, 4/10 back, and it's moving at the back of the grid. Speaking of it, S Snipes is going for side by side with TX Batty for P9. This is a very close battle between the sister teams in real life, but not in the game. So the Red Bull is going very, very wide. TX Batty on the inside. Has he defended the move? DRS enabled for both drivers. This is so close for the two drivers, and TX Batty eventually loses out. And Navek is looking for a move too. Navek has moved up in a P10. This is not looking good for TK Spatty now, as he is in P11. Moving back, he was in P9 before, and now he's moved back, which has made his predicament even worse. So we'll move back up, and Joe Hamster is looking for a move on the other RB of Joshua Stephen. Two Joes. I messed it up. My bad. Not two Joes. Under the yellow flag. I didn't have enough time to see it, but Zach is under pressure now from Mercedes and the Sauber and the Haas. I'm not sure if the either of the Haas. Could the Mercedes go on the inside? Yes, he will. The Mercedes will look down the inside, but he won't get it. He is too far back. He was too far back, and hopefully that is where he does not stay. Hopefully for him, he moves up. TK Spatty is now looking for a move again on Navek. Could he go back on the inside? No, he doesn't. He has to stick with where he is at right now, as the Haas is still in the lead. Joshua Stephen with another penalty. That is not looking good for RB with a 6-second time penalty. Speaking of misery, it's adding now. The Ferrari moved ahead of the RB, and the RB is moving back on the Red Bull. RB and Red Bull are battling now for P8, but no battle. The battle has lost. The battle has disappeared because the Red Bull is now comfortably into P8. Drifting now 2/10 back on the Mercedes. He's looking for that move, and that is a big DRS train right now. Developing behind Joe Hamster. Sam L is a bit of a little comfortable sandwich here because he's 2 seconds back on Chaz, and Chaz has spun it. Speaking of Chaz, the Mercedes has spun round, he's lost his front wing. Will that be a safety car? No, it won't, because it is just a spin for Chaz. Nothing too serious, but he will have to pit, and that is very, very disappointing, and I feel very bad for him. Hopefully he does way better. And the Mercedes, so the RB and the Red Bull, the RBs have gone off. Both RBs have gone off the track. What's going on? What's going on between the two? As Solon Theatre is looking for everyone Maverick now. Is he going right or left? Clearing on the switchback? No. He is still back, and Joe Hamster is side by side with S Snips in the sector 3. What will happen is Joe Hamster, but no, it's not Joe Hamster. It's the Red Bull, as Joe Hamster is very, very twitched in the accelerator. And the spin! Navek has slightly spun. I think he's spun a 360 because he's back on track and he's now in P12, which is not looking good. TK Spatty is in the points position, but he might get a penalty. We have to just wait and see. Drifting now, 10th behind Zach, and Zach is 10th behind the Mercedes. Zach is going to go down the inside. Has he got a move up Zach? No, he doesn't. The Mercedes and Stella is still comfortably in that P1 position. Navek is out! Navek is out of the race! And Chaz too! What's happened? Oh, okay. What? So they both retired in the pit lane, okay. I thought it was like a massive crash or something, but no, it was the most anticlimactic retirement you've ever seen in Formula 1 history, let alone the Racing League history. My god. And the virtual safety car. That is, that's good for, no, I was going to say good for Chaz, but not good for Chaz because he's out. Just for Steven moving down. Oh, he spun it. That's why that virtual safety car is out. That is why a virtual safety car is out. because he has hit the wall. He's now lost his front wing. That is very disappointing for the RB driver, and the pit box is all the way around on the other side of the track, so he's gonna need to wait until the VSC ends to get to the pit box, especially because he has to go really slow now. And Stella still a second in front now, 9/10 in front, because of the thing. Alright, as it is now back to racing, John Dawson with this 3-second time penalty, and just with Steven is the third driver to retire from the 50% race, as Stella still now is still in the P1, but it's a second ahead of Zach. So Zach will be a second duck to drifting, who's going to have DRS on Zach. I'm going to have to stop talking for a second. Alright, so the only real close battle is between TK Spatty and Sharon in for 8th, and the top 3 for 1st now. Drifting, very impressive from him in the Sauber. He was on pole though, so this is a step down from Grace, as the Haas has DRS. So despite being a second down before, he is now looking, and he is within DRS rate, so he could potentially mount an attack. TK Spatty is 4/10 back on the other Sauber of Soren, and he doesn't have a time pass. He's going to look for a move. Could he go on the inside or the outside? He's going to go on the out. I mean, I feel like he should have gone for a move. I mean, I know they're in the same academy, but I feel like he should have gone for the move there. But he's still in P9, and Soren is still in P8. He's keeping that position now, as Mercedes still in the lead, but the Haas is 8/10 back within DRS range, so he could mount an attack on the Mercedes of Sir, so into turn 12. So I was just talking to someone else, and Sal left. Somehow had an internet connection failure, and he has to join back. A sitting duck in P5, and he's now about to lose his position to Snips. They're going to be looking, because the AI is not very high level around this track now, as he's going to be ghosting through, fully overtakes Samuel. Very disappointed. He has joined back, but he's going to need to have to join back. He's going to have to jump back into his car while it's moving. So he's going to be the greatest magic trick we've ever seen. But Zach B is now looking up the inside of Stella. So could he go for the move? No, he's too far back, and he has to stay in P2. Drifting the same, he has to stay in P3. And there's movement at the back. The Red Bull has been overtaken by the Ferrari, as John Dawson now, the next person to fall into the pit lane, this time to change his tyres. He should change the hard tyres, it looks like. So he will be the first pit stop of the race. It's actually a pit stop, not retirement. The Sauber now 3/10 behind. Close battle for the top, as Mercedes of Stella Sil in P1, looking to stay in P1, but he could be threatened now along the second DRS straight. The Haas behind him. I don't think he'll set the lap. I don't think he'll drives on the inside. He's too far back on the Mercedes to make a move. So hopefully for the Mercedes, he stays where he is now. The other Mercedes is out, unfortunately, but TK Spatty now is looking for a move on the Sauber of Sorensen. He's 2 steps back now, he's looking for a move. He's all gone the inside now, he's finally decided to overtake him, and he has moved up into P7 before the corner. Before turn 12 and before sector 3, he's now moved up into P7. Very, very comfortable position for him now. Snips 6 seconds back on Johansson, who's 11 seconds back on the top 3. So it seems like we know who our top 3 is going to be, unless something happens with Zach B drifting or Stella Still, and the podium positions shake up a bit. And I hope it doesn't for drifting, because personally, he's in my academy, because I'm in tier 2 of RB. And there's yellow flags, and there's someone round, and it's Sam L. And he's broken his front wing, and that is putting him into the pit lane. Him and TK Spatty are the second and third people to come into the pit lane. TK Spatty changes tyres. TK Spatty to change his pants, because he has they've turned white to brown. I messed it up, but he has to. Oh, it's still a 5-second time penalty as well. That is not great, and that means TK Spatty is just further ahead. F1 Andy Moore moving up. If we check the amount of laps they've done on their tyres, Don Dawson, TK Spatty, and Vincent and Sam L in the tyres. I mean, he could have just stayed in the race. He could have probably stayed, unless like there wasn't a safety car. That probably could have been. And never mind, he is now out. So we will just move past that as Sam L joins back, but he's left, sorry, my bad, he hasn't joined, he's left. And Joshua Stephen also left in the other RB. Speaking of RB, TK Spatty's looking for a move on F1 Andy Moore, and he has got the move before the corner has even started. And he's moved up comfortably into A, and drifting now, and Zachary are both into the pit lane, which means the Mercedes is still in the lead, but he could lose it, as Zachary and drifting are gone for the undercut on the Mercedes. They could potentially lose, they could potentially get a slow pit stop, but that is unrealistic, and probably definitely not happened, and has not happened. So Zach B now comfortably in P4, Joe Hamster P2, and Snips in P3. Snips in P3. John Dawson, another penalty. That is really looking bad for the Haas, as his other teammate is doing amazingly. So this is not looking good for the two, as Still is into the lead of the race, and we will wait and see where he comes out when he pits next time around. So I completely forgot what I was going to do, but I will forget what I was going to do, because I want to. But John Dawson now could be looking for a move on the other RB of Sorensen. He is looking for a move. Could he go on the inside or the outside? Going on the outside now, around the outside of Sorensen into turn 12. And there's a bit of a contact made. Between the two, but John Dawson has made the move on Sorensen for P6, but that could go all in vain by the end of the race. Zach B, is he going to pit? No, he has pit. So this could be a good pit stop or a bad pit stop, because of the gap between him and Zach B now. Zach B is going to be coming out the final corner of turn 20. Has the Mercedes got this right now? He's come out of his pit box. He's on the pit straight. He's going to be coming out. Where does he come out? Does he come out ahead? The Mercedes is ridiculously close. And no, the Mercedes has done the overcut terribly wrong. And he's moved behind of the Haas and the RB. That is a pretty bad strategy call from Mercedes, but he is on fresher tyres, so he could make those positions up later on in the race. But the closest battle between Drifting and Zach for P2, these two have been unseparated. The race began fighting for P2, as they will now go into turn 11. Drifting could go down the inside, but that is very, very, very risky. So we'll definitely not do that. But he could do it on the pit straight. So pit straight, he could do it on the straight off turn 11. So he could do it now. ERS. Why is Terence not there? But he's going for it down the inside. Could he go for it? No, he's not. He has to stay behind and settle for P3. As Sinister is just loving this now because while they fight, he's catching them and he is gaining. TK Fatty finally has a time penalty. No one bites dust. It just had to happen. It had to happen. But so drifting, staying in P3, but they're just entering turn 20 now with the Mercedes behind. Could he get DRS and could he overtake the Haas for P2 now? This is looking pretty good. Joe Hamster hasn't pit yet and he's losing time every lap. So the overcut is not really working out. I don't want to clarify controller. I mean console. I don't want to clarify anything. I know what I'm doing. And no battles yet. So yeah, that's nothing. Right, so as we have now hit lap 15, drifting in P2 is has closed the gap. Sorry, Zach B has closed that between drifting, but Zach B cannot go for the move as drifting isn't the fastest lap of the race. Don't know how he's done that, but we don't talk about that. Like we don't talk about how disappointing Sam Howell has been. But we move on. So drifting in P2. That is really the closest battle I can monitor because everyone else is a second, above a second between each other. They also have time penalties. And PLT Pistol is 30 seconds back on Sorrentine. So Sorrentine's basically got a point. And that's going to be the best he does. So Zach B now looking for that P2 spot. He's got DRS again. Is he going to go for the move? Has he got the move? That is the real question here. Hold on a minute. Alright, so drifting is closing the gap to Joe Hamster. Joe Hamster still hasn't pitted yet and has a time penalty. So drifting does have DRS on Joe Hamster, which means Zach B will not get the move that he wants, but he could get the move because drifting has moved over to block him now. But Zach B doesn't get the move and Snips does have a penalty, which is gonna not be very good for his race. No. Right, so the Mercedes has joined the party now. He's within a second of Stelosil as drifting could be going for a move on Johansson now with DRS enabled. He's going to shoot for it, but he's not going to get it because Johansson is just that bit ahead because he can't go for the move. He's too far back. He has to settle for P2 for the moment now. Mercedes this is a very, very close battle for P1 now, with Johansson most likely going to pit in the next few laps, and he's probably going to come out in P7, probably P7, I can't be sure of that, but so into the first DRS zone. Drifting is going to be looking for the move. Where's he go? He's going to go on the outside now into turn 1. Drifting, and Johansson spun. There's been contact between him and Drifting has come out on top. Whether there was contact or just a spin from just from worn tyres, we will know after the race when the stewards have had a word with him and Johansson now, as Johansson is in P3, losing time and is guarding the P3 with his life right now, because Stellarcell is looking for the movement. Johansson, bit of contact made between him and the Mercedes. That's going to be looked at, as Johansson is defending this like crazy now, but Stellarcell has to give way, and he has got DRS, so that is bye-bye for the Ferrari driver. Right, so there is movement at the front here. Zach B is looking for a move on Drifting now around the outside. He could go for the move and he doesn't. He has to stay behind Drifting for now. Drifting is the only driver who hasn't got a penalty, so Drifting could be just gifting the win already. He doesn't really need to fight this, but he's still going side by side with the Haas of Zach B defending on the inside, and he plugs the car, but incorrectly. Zach B is still looking for that move on Drifting. Round the outside, Zach B could be going, and he can't. Drifting is still in P1 with no penalty now, as Stellarcell in P3 is looking for a move. He could potentially go P2. Potentially go P2, that's probably where he will finish. Zach B still looking for P1. He is aiming for that top spot, even though he's got penalties. He's going to fight it like it's his life. And the Sauber's gone wide. And he's invited the Haas to fight him, but the Haas is not going to fight it very well enough, as Zach B has to stay behind 4 tenths back. As there's movement, there's finally moving at the back. God damn it, finally, man. But it's pretty close battle between Johansson and TK Spatty now, as Vincent has another 3-second time penalty to add to his race time, as Drifting moves ahead and is now into the lead of the Texas Grand Prix. This is pretty close stuff. I would not expect this in my first commentating role in Bazzi Racing League for 4 retirements and the closest battle for the win. as Zach is moving ahead of Drifting now. Drifting is trying to fight this, but he can't. Zach B is now a race leader in the Texas Grand Prix, as Drifting, with no penalty, has to keep fighting, because if he loses between more than 3 seconds, Zach B gets the win. I don't think that's going to happen. So hopefully for him, he stays ahead, doesn't stay behind for long. TK Spatty, I must add, doing incredibly well for RB. His teammate is out of the race, and it's his debut, and he's scoring points in his debut. That is impressive. He's looking for a move on TK on Joe Hamster, who he is 6/10 back on. He could go for a move. Speaking of moves, Drifting is going to go for a move. No, he's not. He looked for it. He looked through binoculars, but the binoculars had a bit of a smudge on them because he couldn't go for the move, and he's now still in P2. Zach B in the race. Very dominant performance from Drifting, not Zach. You thought I was going to say Zach? Nope, Drifting. Because Drifting is the only driver, I'm not counting PRT Pistol, the only driver in this race who doesn't have a penalty. So he has basically got the win today, unless he can get a penalty, unless Celestial can overtake him or battle with him and make his life a living nightmare. But Drifting has got DRS. In the next DRS zone, is he going to go for a move on Zach? He's gaining into turn 12. He's going to go around the outside. What's going to happen? The Mercedes is looking for a move, and they're still side by side. The Sauber and the Haas are side by side to sector 3. What's going to happen? Turn 13 and 14, that goes to Drifting. But turn 15 goes to the Haas. They're still going side by side, and the AlphaTauri could be plotting, and no, he doesn't. That is an amazing switchback from Zach, who stays in the lead with 9 laps to go. This is an insane lap. Say that. This is an insane battle for the lead of the race. We see a back marker there. It is unfortunately the Ferrari of PRT Pistol, who will eventually have to give way unless he's left already, and he has. Yep, he's left. I would understand. Drifting could go for another move around the inside. Yes, he will. No, he won't. He looked at it, but it didn't work out for him. Zach B impressively holds the lead currently with 8 laps to go. So, Joe Hamster, TK Spatty to the other closest battle, but TK Spatty will not be able to overtake Joe Hamster, so he will have to stay and drip. What? No, I wasn't looking. Shit. Zach B has lost 3 positions. Okay. Deliosil now has another 3-second time penalty, but Zach from P1 to P3, it's a very, very weird turn of events. As Joe Hamster, what's happening here? He spun it. Joe Hamster has spun it in the chicane section before sector 1 into sector 2. He has lost it, and Drifting is going to be looking for a move on Zach B now, or defending, sorry. And it's not worked out. Zach B cannot attack currently, and he's still in P3. And this is an impressive defense from Drifting now, as Drifting is going to be looking for that move on the Mercedes of Deliosil. And he is very, very quick right now, Drifting, because he is still within that gap. As Soren Fane has another penalty. I think Andy Moore is going to finish ahead of Soren Fane by the end of the race, but he could potentially not. Drifting 7/10 back with DRS in there, but he's not going to be able to set. He's not going to be able to go down the inside because he's too far back. 5/10 is the gap going into turn 1, and into turn 2 it's 7/10. That's a lot from me. So Stellarsil is still in P1, but F1 Andy Moore, another penalty, so Soren Fane potentially could get up with some Joe Hamster in the pit lane. Joe Hamster in the pit lane for that broken front wing, and he's going to come out in P9 potentially, as I don't think, yep, I forgot, okay, he's gonna move into P10 and back it down to P10. That's very disappointing from him, as PRT Pistol is out of the race, so we don't even need to count him. But Drifting is looking for a move on the inside of the Mercedes. They're getting side by side, they touch a bit, but the Sauber is still in P2. He has to be patient. He has to look for it. He's going on the inside. He's looking for it. He's looking for the move. He pushes the Mercedes wide a bit. And they're still going side by side and the Mercedes is through. The Mercedes has defended well and he's still in P1. But with that time penalty, he'll have to move back down to P2. Potentially P3 if Zach has a smaller penalty than him. And I think he does because he got that penalty before and another penalty. Joe Hamster is battling F1 Andy Moore for P9 potentially. F1 Andy Moore, the closest battle between them as drifting has taken the Mercedes of Steliasil for P1, and it's not even a close battle because of the penalty. But if it didn't have penalties, it would be the craziest battle in history. Personally, I'm hoping for drifting to win the race because he's a part of my academy, so I'm biased. Whatever, go at me in the comments all you want, I don't care. Drifting now back into the lead of the race. He started from pole and he is now in pole position to win the race. Sorry, prime position, so he's prime position to win the race. So could potentially come back at him and retire him or make him lose his front wing, which would make him slow, and that could pay a hefty price on drifting. He could potentially lose the race. And the Mercedes DRS activated, looking for the move. Has he got it? Sauber could go for the move again. No, the Mercedes moves up into first place. The Sauber has to stick for P2. Currently 7/10 back, and drifting is battling Zach now. But unlike every other battle they've had in that corner, drifting has played it very, very nicely and is still in P2. He's planted the car perfectly, unlike every other time when he hasn't. But this battle is pretty good. And as long as drifting is within DRS range of Steliasil, he will prevail. He will take the win and stand on the top of the podium, a Formula 1 Tier 3 race winner, if he hasn't already. And the battle at the back with Sorensen now. Could he go for a move on Joe Hamster? DRS is enabled for Joe Hamster, but he can't go for a move because Joe Hamster was the one who had the DRS. So that is still a battle. Speaking of battles, the top three are still winning their second as Zach B goes wide. Zach B goes wide. He's got 1 second back. Could he have wing damage? Do you reckon? He could have wing damage because he's already 1.1 seconds back on drifting. He could have just secured that. He could have just doomed himself for a P2 finish. He could have ruined his race currently as Joe Hamster gets on that penalty. That is just not funny. As drifting now, could he go for a move on the inside? No, he can't. He's too far back. He has to stay behind Steliasil. Into turn 13, into sector 3. Drifting is in P2, but not for long. He could go for a move on the next straight. This is a very, very close battle for P1 now. As damn it, Charger is howling on the phone as PRT Pistol. Why did it switch him? I have no idea. Don't ask me. As PRT Pistol is currently in last. Why am I talking about him? I should be talking about the leaders now. It's now lap 25. It is the Mercedes, then it's the Sauber, and then it's the Haas. 3 different constructors round out the top 3 on the podium. Drifting, DRS enabled, but he can't get the move. He's too far back on Steliasil. Steliasil could achieve a personal win without penalties, but unfortunately he does have that time penalty which will have to serve at the end of the race unless drifting gets a penalty which would not be in his favour. And he's a second back. Drifting is losing time between the two. If we just check, Steliasil did achieve the overcut, and it looks like he's past a second. So hopefully Zach can't battle drifting for P2, and drifting could keep P1 in the palm of his hand or gloves right now. As Joe Hamster, with like 12 seconds worth of penalties, has set the fastest lap of the race, which is very, very decent. And drifting is back into a second between him and the Mercedes of Steliasil. Yeah. And no, he's not. He's past second now. He could potentially, maybe. And Stereo has gone slow. Stereo has got taken too much inside line, and he's now gone back, and he's within the second of drifting. So drifting has DRS enabled. Could drifting go for a move on the Mercedes? No, he can't. As we go on to lap 26 now, 3 laps left to decide the winner of the Austin Grand Prix. It's very, very close to the top 3 right now. The only person that doesn't have a penalty in the entire race is drifting, and drifting could potentially get a win. So drifting is looking for that. He's hungry. He is gaining on Stereo with that mistake that the Mercedes made in sector 3. That just means that the drifting has gone even closer now, but drifting locked up into that corner, so he's going to be falling far behind, potentially far behind, on the Mercedes of Stereo. Now into the second DRS straight after turn 11. Let's see what happened now. ERS and DRS are enabled for drifting now. He's using all of his ERS. He's using absolutely all of it right now. Could he go on the inside? No, he can't. He has to stay behind for another lap or so, as Stereo still has the lead of the race. The only person who's actually managed a lot of his ERS is Snips, who has 97% of his ERS to use when he wants. So drifting now, 4/10 back into turn into turn 19 and 20 now. DRS will be enabled, ERS will be activated now, and he is going to be looking for that move. Zach B 2/10 back on drifting, but he will not get the move because of the ERS. He might actually, because Zach B has used more ERS, they've saved more ERS than both drifting and Stereo combined. So they could potentially be beaten by Zach to the line, but it'll be drifting who comes out on top because he doesn't have a penalty yet. That could all change, so make sure to stay tuned as Zach B loses a bit of time to drifting. He's taken a page out of drifting's username and is drifting into that corner. Drifting is now still in P2, but he is 5/10 back, so he could potentially retake the lead of the race on the second to last lap, the penultimate lap. So DRS is activated for drifting. He could go for this move, he could not go for this move. Will he go for it? He's gaining. Round the outside goes drifting on the second penultimate lap. Does he get the move? There's been contact. Contact has been made between the Mercedes and the Sauber. But thankfully for drifting, he hasn't got wing damage, which is going to be the best possible situation for him now. Zach tries a move on drifting, but doesn't work out for him now. This is a battle that's going to go on to the last lap of the race. Drifting has to hold out and stay behind Stereo, and he will win the race. Don't have to start. I'm not even paying attention to you, man. Stop getting penalties. I can't check, okay? I can't check. Drifting now. DRS enabled. ERS activated. 3/10 back. 2/10 back. 1/10 back. He's looking for it on the inside on the last lap of the race. Drifting down the inside. He's going to look for it. He's going to get it. He's going to get the move. Zach B looks for a move. He's almost there. But Zach B hits the back of drifting, and drifting is into the lead. The new race leader following the Mercedes of Stereo. The Mercedes dominance is failing right now as the Sauber of drifting is into the lead of the race. Into sector 2 now. 4/10 is the gap between drifting and Stereo. John Lawson, another 2-second time penalty. But this is really good for Haas, as they could boost their chances in the standings right now. Into the second and final DRS zone of the race. Drifting is going to be going probably to win the race. Stereo could potentially get the win on he snatched the position from him. He's going to go around the outside. Drifting is going to defend like crazy right now. The Mercedes is looking for the move. He's gone off the track to the inside and the outside, and there's contact made between his rear wing and drifting's front wing. Zach defending against Zach, and this is a crazy battle that's going to go to the last corner of the race. 3/10 back. Drifting could he go for a late lunch into turn 20? Drifting, hasn't led every lap, he hasn't got the fastest lap, and he's not going to push because he knows he's the race winner. He went from out of the top 5 into the top 5. Drifting wins the Texas Grand Prix, the United States Grand Prix, and that's an amazing win for Sauber, as they are P9 and P1 and 10 respectively. That is 26 points that they have got. It's an amazing boost for them. Zach B and Steliasil have proved an amazing time, but ultimately Drifting has come out victorious in USA. It is a brilliant, absolutely brilliant win for him. It's so brilliant, I used 3 brilliants. That's how good it is. Anyways, we will be holding interviews shortly when I get the names and get the discords of all the drivers present on the podium. So we will thank you, Zach, for the I like it. Okay, interesting. I just really hope they have Xbox mics. I just really hope they do. I think Drifting does. Oh. Alright, so I'll hold interviews as fast as I can. I just need to get the usernames of the podium. So Drifting, Steliosis. I'm gonna have to skip the panel. I'm so sorry. I have to. Zach. Okay, and Stelioso is the last driver that I need to ask. So let's hmm. Alright, so Stelioso is on. Damn it, why'd he leave? I was gonna invite him to the party. Let me just find him real quick. I'm just gonna add you anyways. There's my view game card. Alright. Let's invite them to the party where I will ask them some questions. Yay! Oh yeah.
The stream can't,
What?
enable the thing where it like lets the stream hear me because you haven't enabled it yet.
All right. All right. Sure. All right. There we go. All right. There we go. There we go.
Thank you. Right, let me just.
I've sent a invite to Zach and Stereo Cell, but if Stereo Cell doesn't join, we'll just do interviews with you two.
Yeah, good idea.
I'll give him like 5 more minutes, and then we'll just start with you if he doesn't join.
Yeah, just start with me first. So I need to get going in like 5 minutes.
All right, sure. Let me just get up something real quick. All right, so let's just start the interview because they're not coming back. What a race from you, drifting. You were the only driver other than last place who got a penalty, and just your performance today has been amazing. Are you satisfied with where you finished today? Do you think that you could have done better, or what? Just like run me through that real quick.
Not
Drifting, lad, what's going on with your mic?
deeper.
Drifting?
Is your mic working? We can't really hear you.
Oh, 1 second. Hello.
Mm.
Yeah,
There you
we
go.
can hear you now.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have really done better, could I? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm saying this now because people can hear me. To all the people who call me a full traction merchant, shut the fuck up. Right, continue.
You've really got 'em now.
Innit?
All right. I wanted to ask again. Before today, did you ever think you'd be standing on top step of the podium, race victor, or did you think you'd just like be P5? That's where
I mean, I always see Texas as one of my strong tracks. This kind of solidifies an 100% podium rate. But you know, could have always been better. Could have been the fucking Grand Slam. Couldn't have been.
Yeah. Last question, because I know you have to go. So, next race on the calendar is Bahrain. Bahrain is a quite difficult track. What do you think? Do you think you'll stand on the top step of the podium next week?
No.
Do you think you'll run a similar bit of form, or like where do you think you'll do good?
I don't like Bahrain, but yeah, we'll see what I can do.
Oh.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for coming
Yep.
in. Thank
Goodbye.
you for joining.
Well done, Drifting.
Thank you, Zach. Well done to you. Good fight.
Cheers, boss. What a guy.
All right. I guess we'll go to just get some. All right. So pretty sure you finished P2. If I can. It was you and then Steliosil P3. You were P2.
That's right, yeah.
So unfortunately you did have that time penalty, but without that time penalty, do you think you could have like won the race, or do you think the Sauber was just too quicker, too quick today?
Yeah, well, I think I proved in the sprint I could pull away from drifting, but when you make mistakes and you get the time penalty, you probably don't deserve to win in the end. And yeah, drifting in the race was just something else. He was super speedy. He deserved it. And yeah, I'm content with P2 and victory in the sprint. So I couldn't really do much more, I think.
A similar question to drifting, but I think you've already asked. But are you satisfied with P2? Do you think that That's just right. I've already asked this. Never mind. Sorry. Nothing else.
It's fine. It's fine.
Sorry. Nothing else. So there was a lot of on-track battle between you and drifting and you and Stereo. So you three were basically the closest battle on track. Like what was that? What was going through your head in the moment while you were like fighting for P2? What were you thinking like in that moment? Those moments.
In all honesty, that's probably the best like fighting or best like race respect I've had in BRL like ever. It was the most enjoyable race I've had because the respect between the drivers, we had respect with each other, so we can push the limits. We can fight a bit more than what you would usually because we've just been battling the whole race. We know what each other are going to do, and honestly, yeah, it was really enjoyable. I don't think we even made contact at all. It was just top battling from start to finish, really.
Yeah. So next race on the grid is Bahrain. I've already asked this question to drifting, but I kind of wanted your opinion as well. Yeah. Bahrain is a difficult circuit, but do you think you'd do well there, or would this be like a casual P6, P7 or something?
I don't really want to aim for P6, P7. I always want to go to the podiums, but yeah. You know, I think I've only done one league race with in Bahrain, so I'm not too. I've not raced that much around there. That's what I'm trying to say. But I feel like it's almost a bit similar to Texas with the few of the corners, few of the sections. That you've got a bit of a mini S section in there, similar to Texas. So honestly, all I want, good battling, respect on the track, and I'm sure I'll do fine.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in. That's all the questions I've really got for you, unless you've got any like last minute things you want to say or something.
Not really. It's just like I think that's one of the best tier 3 races I've ever raced in. So just like well done to everyone.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in, and I look forward to seeing you perform in Bahrain.
Cheers, mate.
So considering Strelio is not here, we can't perform his interview, so we're gonna have to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Unless you're watching it as a replay on my Twitch account, then thank you so much for watching. I hope you've really enjoyed the on-track action as much as I have. I messed up a bit at times, but hopefully you rewatch it and think this guy's really good at commentating. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you stick with us for next weekend, where we race in the hot desert that is Bahrain. As it's not hot because it's night time. But thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next week. And